Good morning. It is Monday, March 18th, and I had one complaint over the weekend that I wanted to address. The complaint was that these things are too long. First off, that is an opinion. The commenter on YouTube said nobody has an hour a day to listen to you rant on. I would argue with the average listen time at 40 minutes, maybe some people have time, but me personally, there's no way I'm listening to me rant for an hour a day, 5 days a week. So what options do you have? Well, you can go over to the link tree, and I've got a couple of options for you, but the main one is the newsletter. The newsletter is free, 100% free during the week. And let me go over how you use this newsletter. For instance, on Friday, it was an hour-long show, an hour-long one. If you didn't want to even read the entire newsletter and you just wanted to look at what I was mainly talking about, that's what the first section of newsletter is. So if you have 30 seconds during the day, which everyone does, you can just read the first portion of the newsletter. Say you have a little bit more time and you want to listen to a little bit more. I've got the link for Spotify, listen in your car. The link for Apple, listen on your headphones. The link for YouTube, listen while you're making dinner and be able to watch the charts. The Spotify one, by the way, is a video podcast as well, if you have a video player. But say you don't want to listen to the whole thing. Well, all of these down here, the pod notes, this is in chronological order. So go and read. It's I think Substack says it's a 5-minute read. Go down. If there's something you're not interested in, skip over that portion. If there is something that you're interested in, then skip to that section of the podcast. I don't put timestamps on these things. Just go forward. For instance, if you wanted to know about what the next NVDA stock is. Oh, look at this article. The next NVDA, Goldman Sachs says what it is. Well, I talk about that article. Well, you're going to go down. If I'm still talking about Apple acquires Canadian startup Darwin AI, then just skip ahead. Hit the 10-second mark. That's what it is. The other suggestion that I have is find yourself a player, whether it's Spotify, Apple, or YouTube, that goes in 1.75. I don't talk all that fast, so I'm slow. I'm a boomer, but you can do that. You can look at it. Yeah. So second thing I want to address is why there wasn't a paid newsletter this weekend. I played Fat Kid on Friday. I played Fat Kid on Saturday, and I just wound up getting sick with the amount of food that I ate. I didn't feel right. Didn't want to force something. Brain wasn't working at 100%. I didn't want to sit down and write something that wasn't valuable to you. I will absolutely 100% make it up to the people that that paid the newsletter, that support me. I will do a paid portion this week. That will be worthwhile. 100%. It will provide you value. I will do a Zoom meeting probably this week as well, just to make it up. I do feel a little bit guilty about that. But yeah, there was no paid newsletter this weekend. I slipped. It's because I don't drink. I eat. And I ate too much Mexican food. I ate too much dessert. I ate pancakes. I went full on board, gained 5 pounds, got to lose the weight now. So yeah, there wasn't one. Other thing is, we're coming up, and it was reminded me by a listener, we're coming up on this. I think I ran it during Thanksgiving. People who signed up for TrendSpider. I think I gave away like 6 months of the newsletter for free, and we're coming up on that. I will have a coupon for those people, to renew at a reasonable price. I do understand the price went up, and it's not fair for you because you got it free for 6 months for purchasing TrendSpider, that you should subscribe to the higher one. So what I'll do over the next couple of weeks, I'll have a coupon that will be available for everybody. So if you're interested in signing up for the newsletter, remember you do renew at the price that you got it at. I don't think that includes the coupon that I'll do. So for instance, you will renew at the higher rate, but just message me If you're interested, message me. We can work something out. I'm more than willing to work something out for you. I'd rather see you, if you're interested in the paid newsletter, I'd rather see you get it for a smaller price if the price that I charge is too high. I'm not in this to make a killing, because I'm not making a killing. I'm not making a living doing this. It's mostly by the trading and by my portfolio. But the newsletter, that's how, again, if you don't have an hour a day, 30 seconds, just read the newsletter. I mean, that's all it is. Read the newsletter. See what you want. Pick and choose. That's the way I run things. That's the way. I don't have an hour a day either. I talk just because, I put the joke in Friday, and I think Brandon and a couple other people who listened to the entire episode laughed, because I'm like that wind-up toy where if you wind me back, I'm just going to keep on going. I'm going to keep on talking, and I do talk too much. Let's talk about where we are. S&P 500, where the trend ends, week starting March 18th. Just to ruin it for you, we'll go to the end. We'll read the last page. The chart show indecision rather than a strong signal either way, given the strength of the bullish trend and the hold of support on Friday. The odds are still favoring the bulls. Completely agree with this. The odds for a bearish shift are the highest since January, and a week close below 50.91 would break the near-term trend. So what do you have this week? Well, we've got a ton of catalysts, and this is why I like one of the benefits of Seeking Alpha Premium is you get this article every Friday. It was March 15th at 3:16, the Catalyst Watch. We've got a Fed meeting. We got the NVDA CEO event, and we got the Reddit IPO. Monday, notable earnings, STNE. I just went over it live on YouTube. Not a big fan. I mean, you can trade it. I don't know it well enough. All week, you've got the Houston conference, bring together the global leaders to advance the ideas on insights and the biggest challenges facing the future of energy. Energy's on a tear. I can go over energy. Chevron, Exxon, they're all up. Shell, TTO, MPLX, which is my personal owning, Oxy, which I do own, and Devon, they're all up. All week, S&P 39th Annual Petrochemical Conference in Houston. All day, Game Developers Conference. That's bullish. Tuesday, Earnings Watch. We have 10-cent music. We have Caleres, City Trends, and Core Main. Nothing big. But Tuesday, we have the NVIDIA conference. The NVIDIA, will go over this a little bit with the conference. Options market is implying a 10% this week move. All day, Box Analyst Day. You can trade Box. Earnings Watch on Wednesday. Micron. Huge earnings on Wednesday. Micron, a big fan. General Mills, I like it as well. 5 below. Chewy is usually pretty good to trade earnings as far as the volatility goes. All day, notable investors. Western Midstream Partners, Virtual Energy and Utilities Day, Brown-Forman's Investment Day. You can kind of get this. This sets you up. And by the way, Wednesday, the Reddit share IPO. Reddit, it's a shit show. Do not get involved in the Reddit IPO. Trade it. Do not own it. You can trade it for its volatility. Don't think that you're going to get in on the Reddit IPO and make 100% in the first 5 months. This is a company that doesn't know how to make money. Get out of here. Thursday, Nike. I bet on Nike last time. I don't believe in them. But you know one that I do believe in? Lulu. Darden Restaurants. Like it. Thursday, Reddit is expected to start trading after the IPO. So Wednesday after the bell, Reddit shares are the expected price for the IPO. Thursday, it starts trading. Trade it. Just trade it. Nike will hold its conference call. Friday, Merck will be on watch as the FDA action for sotatercept, just one business day away. It's the company's novel investigational activin signaling inhibitor treatment for adult patients and pulmonary arterial hypertension. If approved, would be the first in its class, bringing a novel approach to address a rare and progressive disease. Again, this article is worth $189, which is what you pay for Seeking Alpha Premium. I love it. It sets everything up for me, sets the week up. I know what's going to happen. You guys wonder how I know so much about what's going on. It's that. The other thing I like about Seeking Alpha Premium in my portfolio, I get these kinds of things. This was interesting. This is the morning email with my portfolio. Taiwan Semi, and MPLX, both of them today skip the quant rating of buy, and they go from hold to strong buy. MPLX, solid performer, $40 stock with a 9% return. I've been screaming about this one since it was in the 20s. Roblox went from hold to buy. It's down 2%, is an opportunity. Taiwan Semi just had its pullback. And podcast favorite, SMCI, goes from hold to buy. Pretty good one. Biggest movers of the day, Alphabet. Alphabet's up 5%. I mean, let's talk about QQQ first. Before I get into individual stocks, let's talk about QQQ. Because I posted this on Friday that we had a button hook. It button hooked, yes. An algorithm got you out. Does that mean that you get out of this QQQ? No. In the pre-market, we are up almost 1%, I think, 1.07%. You're at 438. You closed Friday at 433. Algorithm says it got you out with a 1% loss. 438 is the buy. So if you're going to buy it, buy it. I mean, that's the thing. It will get you back in with an entry, probably at a higher price. We talked about it just about 5 minutes ago, how the market, to me, seems very bullish. We're in this upward trend. I've drawn this green line from the October lows to show we are in an upward trend, and we're on the downside of that trend. Whether I think that we're going to break this cycle and come back to the 200-day doesn't matter, because we're in an upward trend. When the algorithm says to get out, I don't believe getting out is the story, because the fundamentals tell me we're in an upward trend. So I believe in that upward trend. Could call me crazy, but I do believe in that upward trend. We held support. We have support down here at 413. What am I doing with QQQ as it pulls back? I'm buying more. So QQQ, yes, the algorithm got you out. If you want to look at SPY and VOO both trade on the same. It got you out. Well, no, the algorithm hasn't gotten you out. Probably will get you out if we continue on the downward trend. The button hook is here. But again, these are stocks that I don't tend to trade. I tend to just own them. And on bigger, if you need money, then you can sell them on the, you need money to trade. You can sell them if you're trading them. I tend to own these. I trade single stocks. I tend to own these ETFs. I look at it to see what we're in the trend of. Look at that 50-day. Have you broken that 50-day? No. Is the 200-day moving negative? No. Is the 9-day moving negative? Yes. 21-day? It's kind of flattened out. But if we open up and we start this week strong, remember, the Fed, there's an NVIDIA meeting on Tuesday, an NVIDIA event, not a meeting, an NVIDIA event on Tuesday. There also is a Fed meeting. And what's the Fed going to do? They're going to hold rates. They're not going to raise them. So you're not going to see a huge market crash. They're not going to lower them. So you're not going to see the market rip and roar. You might see the market trade sideways. But that's where you've got to understand. Look at these things and then make your decision. My decision is staying in. My decision is I'm buying. I bought more Apple at 171. It's at 175 right now. It dipped down to 169. I'm sorry. I bought 173. It dipped down to 169. Was I adding more? No. I put big enough buy-in at 173. It's now 175. I'm up. So make your decision about what you want to do. But Alphabet, biggest mover right now is Google, because Apple is rumored to be licensing, in talks to license Google's Gemini AI to improve Siri. And if you haven't used Siri in recent times, it's gotten really good. They've got something going on there. It is significant. And this could be the start of an event where Google and Apple actually combine together and partner. Remember, it was announced that Google and Apple had partnered for the search, and that Google was the preferred search partner for Apple, and that they were paying Google a tremendous amount for that behind the scenes. But I said get Google under 150. It's now at 149. Did you get Google at 136? Well, I get it at 149. It's under that 150 price point. That's my point is you've got to understand you can buy these things on dips. When it's under its 200-day, Google is a strong enough company. It's coming back. I said it was on hold. It was on hold for a week. Once Microsoft and OpenAI came out and their AI was doing the same thing, once the other AIs were doing the same thing, Google wasn't on watch. It was AI that was being trained on a lot of this stuff. So it wasn't just Google specific. Yes, they pulled it. I think they've done the right thing. So Google, biggest mover of the day. What's another one? Shift4, price tumbled 10% after the CEO informed employees via memo that buyout offers undervalued the company. Shares of B. Riley. B. Riley almost bought Earthlink. Not a fan of the company after the boutique investment bank failed to file its audited annual report. So, those are the big movers of the day. Again, this is Seeking Alpha. What to expect from NVIDIA's annual conference. You can read this article. This is going to move the market. Expect sound, SOUN. We went over it last week, how SOUN probably will be on stage announcing something. This is probably a $10 stock and you're trading at $9 right now on some type of, oh my God, we're going to partner with NVIDIA. NVIDIA is an investor in this company. They do vocal recognition stuff with AI. So expect that one to move. NVIDIA in the options market, it's implying a 10% move with the $900 calls getting the most attraction. That was on CNBC this morning. That's an interesting one. If you want to read what to expect from the annual event, this is it. Artificial intelligence. Remember, we are in an AI and GLP-1 market. Here's a better discussion about Apple in discussions to allow Google's AI tool Gemini to power iPhone AI features. I think this is in reaction to Apple being a little bit left behind in the AI world. Apple was in talks with Microsoft and has considered using its AI model as well. So Apple is in the driver's seat. Apple has billions of devices out there. And they're looking to partner with somebody, I think, to bridge the gap until they get their own AI out there. I think that's what this one's about. But Apple has tremendous resources that could probably build on this one. I was listening to a podcast this weekend about AI. And I think it's called Tax GPT. I'm going to look it up later. But there's all kinds of little agents that are being built off of Chat GPT and being trained in order to use the large language model. But these are just kind of boutique little things that are being built. I like it. I like it a lot. And Apple, maybe they just license it. Maybe they're not in charge of it. Apple hasn't been that great at some of the software stuff that they've done as far as like pushing it out there to the general masses. You look at Adobe and Final Cut Pro. Adobe, significantly better better, more adopted, I should say, than Final Cut Pro, which is video editing stuff. So Citibank, screens for 25 stocks with growth capex. It's a great list. I mean, this is a great list. If you want to know what to invest in with the greatest growth over the next year, maybe this is it. Google, 3-year capex to depreciation ratio. Great list. Great list, again, from Seeking Alpha. How the Magnificent Seven valuations stack up against bubbles of yore. This is interesting. I mean, you can see the aggregate, 30.2% of the market, 25 PE. The aggregate of 2000, 19% of the market, but a 52 PE. They were smaller, almost half, but they were 52 PE. Japan's aggregate, 27% of the market with a 67 PE. Now, I talk about this a lot because Leon Cooperman talks about the nifty 50 of the 70s. In 1973, the aggregate was 19% of the market with a 34 PE. Now, that 30% with a 25 PE, I don't think that's crazy. Earnings have been in line. So understand, earnings have been in line. These are still 7 companies with the exception of Tesla. I would put Netflix in this list as well. But these are companies that I don't think are absolutely crazy. Best value in the market is Google. I continue to say Google and Netflix, I think, are the two best values in the market. I think Apple, with its pullback, this is going back to 200, and you may be able to sell it at 200. Yes, Apple has a big PE for 3-4 quarters of reduced revenues. They'll figure it out. They'll figure if they include AI in the next iPhone, and you have to upgrade to iPhone 16 in order to get the upgraded Siri because they don't have enough memory in the old iPhones to run it. Excuse me one second. Penny, stop. Everybody loves so I won't edit that out. But if they figure out how to put an advanced Siri in the next iPhone, you're going to see an upgrade cycle like you haven't seen before. That's what's going to be a differentiator. If you can basically tell Siri to book plane tickets, and it's integrated into the iPhone to find you a hotel that's nearby, that is a hotel that you like it the way it was before, to find you a restaurant like your home restaurant that you worked with, that you like at your hometown, that you're driving near, that you're on the highway, and you ask Siri, hey, is there anything at the next exit to eat? Where's the closest gas station, and what's the cheapest price for gas? Think about that while you're driving, and that's in Apple CarPlay. Come on, that's game changing right there. Qualcomm, one of the core portfolio stocks, this was in the social media. It was teasing it. They officially announced Snapdragon. Qualcomm is up. NVIDIA is up 4%. Qualcomm is up 2% at 170. It's back to 170. They teased their model. The Snapdragon, and it came out. You're still in this at 148, even though the MACD crossed down. The algorithm didn't get you out, but Qualcomm unveiled that one. There's an IPO coming out on Wednesday, and it's ALAB, ALAB. This is an interesting one. This one will probably get significant hype, I would think. It's a semiconductor connectivity firm, Astera Labs, which is slated to go public on Wednesday, has boosted the size of its upcoming offering amid increased demand for all things artificial intelligence. Expect to trade this, ALAB, ALAB. You can read up on it. They announced in November 2022 that it raised $150 million in Series D fund rounding. This is backed by Intel, AMD. Again, if you want semiconductor, and this is going to be a new hyped one, expect that it's going to file shares between now expects 19.8 million shares between $32 and $34. Up from a prior expectation of 17 million shares between 27 and 30. So interesting. I thought that was one. People want to know, why did I buy Shopify? Well, it's way too cheap for what's coming. This is a great analysis article about how it's a value, how business momentum, improving merchant quality, falling customer acquisition costs, the opportunity here. Shopify, I've said get it under 80. It's at 76. It's down 0.41% today. It is trading down, little sideways over the past week or two. 75.52 is where the algorithm has you in. You're at 76.80. I bought more. As it gained confirmation. I bought more, small position, adding to it. MACD is under the oscillator line. RSI at 49. Again, with this article, read why it's just way too cheap for the opportunity that's ahead. Boyle, nat gas is up. Oil is over $80. So we can talk about UCO. UCO has been on a run. Oil and energy is up because China is finally showing some demand. UCO is up 1.23, but look at this run if you bought this at 29. If you bought this at $29, you're at 32. I mean, again, be careful of this one. It's a decaying asset. This is not one you want to buy and hold. This is one that you want to just trade. But look at how sideways that is. You're up over its 200-day. When was the last time you were over the 200-day on this weekly? I mean, it's all the way back to, God, even in the craziness of 2020 when you were so far down. Look at that sideways move. I mean, this sideways move is legendary. This is why you don't want to trade it. That's from January 2016 all the way to September 2018. It just traded sideways. So you want to do short term on this one. Now, the algorithm still has you in this. The algorithm loses you 58% versus losing 15% on the actual asset. This is not one where you want to use the 4-hour algorithm. I would say use the 65-minute algorithm. Let's see how the 65-minute algorithm trades on this one. You want to find some type of entry into this. This one doesn't even work. I mean, if we bought it 8 months ago, you're up 17%. So find something that works on that one. But the other one that's going crazy is natural gas. Like we said, commodity roundup. Nat gas is going a little bit nuts. Oh, my dog just took the blanket off the bed and is pushing it across the floor. Oh, boy. Here, let's go back to the 4-hour on Boyle. Because Boyle, like we said, here it's close to, it's not even close to its 200-day. This is a broken commodity, but it's starting to get its bid. It's up 3%, 1437 is where the buy-in was, 1437. It's going to come back to the 200-day at some point in time. I just don't know if that 200-day is going to come down. But commodity roundup, you can read about it all about it here. Economic data out of China. And speaking of energy, have you noticed Exxon? I mean, Exxon quietly is up at 111. This was a solid algorithm move at 104, and you have confirmation. You may be going back up to the 120s. Your earnings are coming up later, April 25th, so there's no real catalyst on this other than China. You had the golden cross of the 50-day and the 200. So solid move. This article was interesting. Bitcoin may start to lose its reputation as a volatile asset. This was interesting. It was on CNBC. I'd watch the video. I'm not convinced on this. If we go over here and we go to Seeking Alpha, BTC is the Bitcoin versus US dollar. And we look at this, it is at 68,000. It broke at 70,000 on Friday. I think it went back up to 73,000. But right now it's a little button hook here that's coming off of this. If we just look at a 6-month, we can kind of see the pullback. I continue to think if you want to own Bitcoin, just own Bitcoin. If you want to invest, I have here in TrendSpider, I have a Bitcoin and crypto ETF that you can scan on to see if there's anything. You can see it's all red up here. It's all red. So if you want to invest in this, remember, you want to invest on down days in anything that you're really investing in. You want to buy on down days. You don't want to buy on big up days. Like, for instance, NVDA at 917, you can buy into strength and you can trade this and you can scalp it during the day for a couple of percentage points. But you don't want to buy long-term on a day when it's up 5%. You can, but that's kind of FOMO. And it doesn't mean that you're not going to make money. Just kind of FOMO-ish. Fear of missing out. Meta, up 1.2%, but it's still under the $500 that I think it's worth. So Meta, get it while it's under $500. But this article was interesting. This is interesting. Apple death cross. This was on Friday, March 15th. Apple on its SMA. This is an Apple, looks like daily chart. The death cross. First time in nearly 2 years that Apple had its death cross. If we go and we look at Apple here on the stock chart, the buy, Apple had a buy here at 173. It's at 176. All the confirmation in the world. If we go and we look at the daily on Apple, you did have the death cross right here. You had the death cross. I would say the death cross here, it came back in 2023. So, I'm sorry, that's the golden cross. See how it bounced off there? If we pull it back, let's see. We're going to pull it back to see where the last one was. Because it was, looks like it got it here in 2022. But the really solid one was back in June of 2022. Didn't spend much time down there. Kind of came back up. Went back down. I mean, you got the golden cross here in March of 2023. Were you buying in March of 2023 when you were trading at 155? Not a great return over what? Just a couple of years. If we look at this and we go right up here, over, let's see, 13% over 11 months. I'd kind of take that. I mean, honestly, if you want to look at the golden cross and the death cross, if we start to move back up and we go to the 200 and you just spent a week under, the 50-day spent a week under there, pretty good move in my 10. I'd like that one. So, okay, Apple. I bought more, and you guys know I have a ton of Apple. Let's talk about Tesla. Tesla's moving up. I didn't see any real news on this. It's up 1.2%. I think in pre-market it got to 170. I just don't see a huge catalyst for this. Fisker is going bankrupt, is in talks with somebody to buy them. Tesla's not going to buy them. There's no reason for Tesla to buy Fisker. GM or Ford may buy them, maybe Stellantis, but I can't imagine anybody buys them. It's such a horribly run company. There's no real value in that. Take the design and build your own car. I mean, that's essentially what you could do. But, Tesla, it's just one of those stocks that I'd rather see in Uber. Honest to God, I think Uber has more upside. At 70, it's down. Uber is down 1% today. You have no confirmation right now. I wouldn't buy it, but you're seeing some type of sideways movement. It's kind of broken that sideways movement. You're on the underpinning of 76 at 75. I'm going to buy more Uber. That MACD is back kind of regular. The RSI is at 35. It's kind of oversold. So in my mind, that's the opportunity. Jamal Aziz wants me to look at Yes. I think this is crypto. I know nothing about crypto. Nothing. Other than this one has been going a little nuts. So Jamal, I know nothing about crypto. In my mind, if you want crypto, just buy Bitcoin or Ethereum. That's it. The Yes coin, let's see, over 1 month, it's up crazy. I mean, I'm not even going to cover it. Jamal, do your own research on that. I know nothing about crypto. I'm a stock guy. As far as Bitcoin and Ethereum, I'll do the ETFs. Full disclosure, I do not own Bitcoin. I don't own any crypto in an account. You should, but I don't. You should, if you're younger, put 5% of your total net worth into crypto, into Bitcoin, into Ethereum, and just leave it there. Don't take rent money. Do not take money that you're using to pay bills. But take a little bit and just buy it and forget it. It could be life-changing. But Jamal, Yes coin, I don't know anything about it. I can't imagine it's a good investment. If it just came out, it's not a good investment. Understand, people are making these coins out of absolutely nothing. You can trade them, but the only two that I actually know that should stay are Bitcoin and Ethereum. Solana and some of the others, I think they're fine, but I don't know enough to say, yeah. Steven, as a fellow pot smoker, do you see any future growth in marijuana stocks? No. Steven, here's marijuana stocks. Think about it. Are you buying legal marijuana or are you buying from a dealer? Because the taxes on marijuana are crazy. And as long as they're legalizing it, the illegal trade will continue to be the trade that will happen. All they're doing is legalizing marijuana so that you can't go to jail for it. And they're boosting up that illegal trade. It will be a prohibition style crackdown. When it becomes legal, then it's going to be illegal to deal in those things, and they're going to want the tax revenue. But until then, there's no reason to it. The margins are super, super low. Nothing that you can do in the pot sense is even worth it. If you want pot, I'd say MJ, which is the alternative harvest ETF. I mean, they can't even say pot. They just say alternative harvest. MJ's not a bad one, but I trade them. You don't own these. There's no reason to own these right now. The margins are just too low. John Newhall, love the show. 2 questions. What do you think about Micron Technologies? Sorry, I had to sneeze. What do I think about Micron Technologies? I like it. I think they just got an upgrade, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, let's take a look at Micron. That stock trend right there, you're in an upward trend. You're up 2.16% today. I think they report after the bell, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see when their earnings are. It is today or tomorrow? Tomorrow, and it is post-market. So Micron Technologies, they're not making money. When they become profitable, I mean, the forward PE is only 14. It's not crazy. It's not shorted. Average stock price to target price is 108. You're trading at 96. Most recently, reiterated today, Cantor Fitzgerald with a $120 price target. Today, Barclays with a $120 price target. Probably not bad to get in there. What to expect from the markets this week. Let's see if there's insiders. Insiders option exercise, and they're selling at 95. They're selling pretty good amounts here in the 90s. $100 per share. Sale for $100 per share. That must have been prearranged for the CEO. CEO's selling a ton. I mean, God, look at that. From December to March, I mean, you're probably talking about what, $15, $20 million worth? So, I don't know. I mean, Micron for me, if you look here at Seeking Alpha and we look at this, buy from Wall Street, hold. The valuation is a D from the quant. It's 12 out of 65 in semiconductors. So, I mean, NVIDIA is your number one. Taiwan Semi, which we just went over, went to strong buy. AMD, I own. Qorvo, I don't own. Sirius, I don't own. I own NVIDIA. I own AMD. And I own AVGO. And those are of the top ones. Those are the ones that I own. Micron 12. I mean, I don't think it's a horrible one. If we go and look, Wall Street has it as a buy. And this is pretty actively held. I mean, this is actively covered. 22 strong buys, 9 buy, 6 hold, 1 strong sell. Average price target, 106. That's an 11% upside. You can see how it trades all the way up to its target price. And the target price is rising. So as the target price is rising, let's take a look at this. As the target price is rising, kind of hits that top realm of 86, 87. Doesn't get to the 90s until here. Does it cross that 100 mark? I mean, they got to have stellar earnings to cross that 100 mark. But the PE, again, it's only 14. If they can keep up, and they just all they have to do is name NVIDIA. I think they did at some point name NVIDIA as a partner, or their chips go onto an NVIDIA chip. I don't know exactly. What strategy, John asked, what strategy would you recommend if someone wanted to start trading with just $250? Just, I mean, style of trading is personal for me. And again, this is just personal. I don't suggest it, but buy and hold. I mean, if you want, say you have $250, my suggestion would actually be put the $250 into an ETF, into QQQ or XLK, one or the other. And what I would do is every week I would take another $5 or $10 and I'd buy more. Again, if you only have $250, then put $250 into an ETF. You should be building your wealth, not trading. And if you're trading $250, you're gambling. Remember, you want to build wealth. You want to have your platform. If you want to trade, then what I would say for $250, take $200 and put it into an ETF. Take the $50 and buy a couple of stocks. But remember, you have pattern day trade rules. If you're trading options, you don't have pattern day trading rules. But if you have, if you're buying stocks, you have PDT, and PDT you can trade one stock a week, 4 times a week, or else you get PDT and then you're stopped out. The last thing you want to do with an account under $25,000 is get stuck in a trade because of PDT rule. If you get stuck in a trade because of the PDT rule, you could lose your shirt. Say, for instance, last week you put your money into Fisker and you said, I'm going balls to the wall. Fisker. There it is, FSR. Say you, last week, you decide, you know what? I'm going to put my money into Fisker. It's up. This candle is a 10% up on 9/30, on March 13th. I'm going to put it in. And then all of a sudden, you realize, oh my God, I made 4 trades. I'm stuck in a PDT. Well, what happened? You just lost 50% of your money. You do not want to trade something like that. You want to trade something in the core portfolio that you can actually make money on, that you can actually buy and hold. So my suggestion, if you want to trade, do it with a small percentage of that $250. Put the money into a long-term ETF. Just my thing. Okay, let's talk about scans. Scans, there weren't many. So I'm going to include some that are seem kind of crazy. But first one that got a cross up here is CAT, C-A-T. It's just been capitulating here on the MACD. Might be getting room for a move, ready for a move higher. This is at all-time highs. Solid. I own this one. I personally own it. ISRG, Intuitive Surgical. This one, I think it's at all-time highs. Let me just make sure that it's at all-time highs. But 396, you're trading at 404. I'm sorry, you're trading at 394. You're trading at 394. Yeah, you're at all-time highs. I mean, again, it's kind of looking like it might reject off that 400 and come back down to 360. You do have a little bit of a volume shelf up here at 380, but 394 on the 4-hour. If we run this, you make 25% over 24 months with 28 positions. You make 40% by buying and holding. Again, the point that I even brought up at the beginning about buying and holding being better. Some of these stocks that make these big moves and are in an upward path, the algorithm underperforms buying and holding. Doesn't mean that the algorithm is bad. It just means that if you want to trade these, the algorithm provides you some support. You may do better with buying and holding. But if you identify a stock that's going up, the algorithm plays in a middle ground. So over 28 positions over 24 months, so about 1 trade a month, you still don't look at it like, oh my God, I made only 25% where I could have bought and held over 40%. If that's the way you feel about a stock, buy and hold it and enter when the algorithm tells you to enter. But if you think that the stock is too crazy volatile, then you can use the algorithm to actually make money as long as it works. And what the algorithm does is it identifies a long-term trend. If you're losing money on the algorithm, but your buying and holding is actually making money, then you're probably in a short-term uptrend, but the algorithm over a long term doesn't necessarily work. Tesla's a perfect example. Over 24 months, you have 22 positions. You make 55% with the algorithm. If you bought and held, you've lost 43%. There are plenty of moves in this stock. This provides you safety. So you have to understand the stock that you're trading. You have to understand where the stock is. This is below the 200-day on the weekly. That provides me a good sense that maybe this one's a good look I could look at this one. I'm going to remove this segment. Maybe this one I could look at to potentially look to find support on the weekly. At that point, I want to get in for the algorithm because the algorithm might not be in a downward trend. It might be in an upward trend. Right now, I think Tesla's fundamentals point me towards it being a weaker than expected stock. So I don't want to predict the future based on past performance. Simple as that. The algorithm kind of, it's not something that you use absolute. It's a guide. It provides you confidence in getting into something. So BATRK, this is the Braves tracking. And it comes up every now and then because it's in the NASDAQ 100. BATRK, it hit the 200-day. Could it provide some support at 38.17? You're at 38.16. The 50 days moving negative. Do I want to buy this one? Algorithm makes you 1.8%. Buying and holding makes you 45.7%. 29 positions over 24 months. Your average win is 7.6%. Do you think this is one of the 7.64%? I would not think so because you're on the downside of the 9-day. So you have to understand the algorithm is not perfect. The entries and exits on the algorithm are very simple. It provides you a guide. PCAR, P-C-A-R. This is one, car. I think this is trucking or something, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. PCAR. This is, industrial. Industrials have been just killing it. This is up 21% year to date. 21% over 1 year. You're up 73%. PE 13. Crazy low, but not for an industrial, farm and heavy equipment machinery. The algorithm makes you 43%. Buying and holding makes you 94%. Simple as that. 31 positions over 24 months. This is just another move higher. So understand the algorithm got you in at 94. Boy, isn't that great? This just points you to it may be taking another leg higher. It's at all-time highs. It's an industrial. Your MACD is extended. Do you want to enter into this one? I probably would not. I'd wait for a pullback. This is just too hot for me, but doesn't mean that it doesn't have more upside. GM has a buy. GM, this is not one that you want to buy and hold. This is one that you absolutely want to trade. How does the algorithm work on this one? It provides you an 11% gain over 24 months, 32 positions. If you bought and held, you lost 7%. This one is on the upside of the 9-day. So at 40.69, right now you're buying it on the upside of I think it's a $42, $43 stock. So you got a 7, 8, 9% in this one. Your average win is 10. Your 50 days moving positive. Your 200 days moving positive. You had your golden cross. When you had your golden cross, you were at 36 here. Did you buy at 36? Is this a stock that you like? Not one that I'm necessarily holding on to. But yeah, it is what it is. Again, it is what it is. The algorithm, if you're interested in the algorithm, TrendSpider has their sale going on right now for one more day. It for $595. You save 67%. I say what you do is you go to the link tree and you use this top link and you sign up. And it's $1,000. It's normally $1,100, $1,200. It's $595. So you do that, and then you go back to the link tree once you sign up, and my email is right here. You email me, and I'll email you back with a welcome letter that has all the links to import everything. But say that's too expensive for you and you don't want it. The one that I would recommend is Seeking Alpha Premium. There's a $50 off coupon. Start your trial today. It's $189. You get a free 7-day trial. A free 7-day trial. Again, a free 7-day trial on this one. Simple as that. You click on this link. It's the second link that you click on. It provides you all the quant ratings, everything that I get, every article that I go at, you're able to record. The benefit of this is not necessarily, oh my God, I get stocks to pick. It finds you stocks. You can look at, you can do your own research, and you can read articles. It's a central hub. That's what's interesting about it. Alpha Picks. If you want Alpha Picks, this is a stock picking service that provides you 2 stocks per month. It tells you when to sell them. It's simple as that. And it beats, if you're new to this is just 100% the way it performs. $449 saves you $50 if you use my link. Any of the other links that you want to do are right here. If I can help you at all, email me, find me on socials, whatever you want. I will talk to you guys tomorrow.
Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears.